It is public knowledge, Madam President, that Shawn Nicholas is fully vaccinated.
This is Antigua News.
Madam President, yes, you almost held my hand and I'm getting there. Madam President, I am the mother of one child. God has blessed me with a son. He's a teenager now. And I remember when I was pregnant, I developed gestational diabetes. Yes, it was really bad. And for several months, I had to do the blood fasting, blood glucose tests, right? And for 3 hours, 3 consecutive hours, every month, I had to take that day. Madam President, I have a condition, and I actually went to look it up because I said it wasn't normal. Whenever I saw needles, I would have fainting spells. I would faint, and I had to go look it up when we were doing the COVID, and it's actually called, and medical people out there, forgive me, I didn't study medicine, it is actually called trypanophobia. It's a fear of needles. Madam President, I faint when I see needles. So when you ask me behaving like that for COVID, for the COVID vaccine, I had to brace for that. I did those glucose tests, among other tests that a pregnant woman had to do, not for me, because I felt then that I had an unborn child who could not make that decision for himself. And I did it. Come forward many years later, and that came back to me. I said, I have a son who could not make that decision for himself. And I decided that I was going to get vaccinated for him. I was going to get vaccinated for the people in my various circles. I was going to get vaccinated for my country. I took that decision. But Madam President, having taken that decision, I am not going to be blind and say that it was all well. Most of us in here, we took the first jab together. And I remember in the leadership, the women's chat, the Saturday after the first dose, we were all WhatsApping to see what the side effects would have been. Colleagues, I went home that Saturday and I waited for side effects. No side effects came, so I got up and I went to the supermarket. So I said, good. The second jab that I got, Madam President, I have never said it publicly, but it needs to be said. I wish someone had said it to me before. We have to be real, because I'm getting somewhere with this. I'm not sure if we know when the atlas is on its axis, how it tilts to a side. Madam President, that was my head for about 3 days. I could not leave home. I had to be walking with my hand at the side of my head to hold it up for fear that my shoulder could not take my head. And then the chest pains came. And I started rationalizing and I said, no, my heart is on the left, so it can't be a heart attack. I was afraid to go to sleep for fear that I wouldn't wake up. And I'm being real. I didn't know what was happening to me, Madam President. And we're all adults here, and I know this is going out. I am being real. There is also a side effect of bleeding, which I had. Excessive bleeding. And I'm going to get a little bit more drastic. It wasn't just bleeding, it was bleeding and clotting. And we have to be real. It happened to me.
This is Antigua News.
Madam President, I had to go to the doctor, by the way, and it was then I realized these were all side effects. I got a call from the Ministry of Health hotline, and I'm sorry I didn't take the young lady's name because she was so polite and so engaging. I am so sorry I never took her name. And when she called to ask about the first jab. And I told her, it is so funny that you're calling me now. I am experiencing all these symptoms for the second. But she could not take it then. She promised to call back. So young lady, whoever you are, and you promised to call me back, please call me back, because I had nothing to report on the 1st, but I wish for it to be recorded that the symptoms are real. Having done that, Madam President, would I take the vaccine again? Yes, I would. Would I encourage people to take the vaccine again? Yes, I would. But what we need, Madam President and my colleagues senators, I've heard it in here, the time for division isn't now.